Aye. Okay. Okay, I call to order the inland wetlands meeting on April 7th, 2026 at 7:06 p.m. Call the word. Here. Here. Here.
Bill's here.
Bill here. Jed.
Yeah.
Jan.
No one's online? No. We have two people, but I don't know.
And we have Marina and Howard Cromer. Howard Cromer, yes. Okay. Additions or changes in order of agenda, approval of minutes from January 6th.
I think we approved those at the last meeting. And I think we're up to approving the minutes from February 3rd.
Oh, did we have the February meeting? I don't think we had February.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because we have minutes from February
Oh, yeah,
meeting.
yeah, I
Except we
did that,
approved the ones we did.
I mean, Duncan, if you wanna go back to 3, you can adjust the agenda to add the February minutes.
Approval of
Yes.
that.
It needs to be adjusted, okay, so. Addition or changes in order to agenda, so approval of minutes has to be for. What did you say?
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
I think, if you have anything to. They look good.
So we're
So a motion to approve the minutes.
hold on, we gotta make a motion to change the agenda and then do a.
So I make a motion to change the agenda from January 6th to February 3rd.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
No,
Now I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd.
Would anybody else make some changes February 3rd?
I did. So. At the top of page 2. It says. Duncan Flight motion to allow wetlands agent to approve permit 2601 after the 14-day period is passed, the public hearing. And I didn't know, well, one, it doesn't talk about the second, I think we did second it, I think it was unanimous approval. But I'm not sure we had a wetlands agent 14 days after. So I don't know that the bridge is approved.
Approved.
Right, to the point.
And like point man, is not here anymore.
Then what do we ask?
I don't know what Joe's last day was.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. I know John Koskowski was gonna be involved maybe with like enforcements, but I don't know. If he would be able to help with that at all, I don't know. That one, I don't know, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah,
So can you read that again with the motion was?
well, it said, you motion to allow the wetlands agent to approve the permit application. IWWC number 26-01 after the 14-day period is passed for the public hearing.
Right.
Did we have a public here? Do we even know that?
Well, maybe we didn't have a public hearing, but when there's a application posted in the paper,
Right.
and then we have to say that it was approved. Then there's 14 days that you have to wait. Well, we didn't approve, we put it over the agent. I don't know what happened, and all I know is they say there's no agent. And so I don't know how that
Yeah.
played out.
Get it, yeah.
So Wayne was gonna forward anything to me. Anything that came across his desk or his attention about. I don't know, anyone from the public reaching out or any enforcement actions or anything like that. And I have not heard anything from him about it.
Now, my thinking is that it's probably okay, but the record needs to be clear on how that happened, because, you know, Joe, I got that email from Joe right about the time we were gonna have the the March meeting that we didn't have.
right, right.
So I think he was here till the beginning of March, and if we did this in February. Maybe it got done, but I don't know when he, I don't know when he approved it, I don't know when. He had to publish it in the paper that it was approved, because that's what allows the public to take the 14
Take the
days
14 days.
to report
Start the
if
clock.
if they have. And so, I don't know what happened.
Is that doable? Can you call Joe Wagner?
I can't go home. Yeah, I don't know how to get a hold.
I got his phone number right here.
I'm trying to look for Joe's email right now. See if it says when. He was leaving.
But the question is, we should have on our website, you know, the notice, the legal notice, there's a legal notice that we have to have. Published that he approved it.
You're right, that's a good point. Okay, so. Richard to Wayne.
Why annoying?
It better be done because we're out there working at it, or at least we're getting.
Right, right. There's some stuff going on. And big orange signs this week.
The thing for the minutes the correction to the minutes that I was looking for was that, it was seconded by somebody and I went,
It was you and it
Okay.
passed 4-0. Why I didn't put it on.
okay, well, and I went looking, because I went looking for the video to check it out today. And, you know, the video from the last meeting was not available for viewing.
Oh. Yep, I have you second, so I'll fix that. You second and passed 4-0, so. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, the application's on the website, but I don't know. There's no, I
And-
don't see any public hearing.
We don't know if it was in the release.
Right.
I didn't see it.
I don't get
It's
the.
under archived already, so.
Okay, so I'll reach out to Wayne about that.
Yeah.
Cause I guess he'd be acting as the temporary. Well, here you go.
Now, the other question that I had on the minutes was on item 8. Where under agent report, Joe Wagner provided update, had inspection on property on Shoddy Mill Road by transfer station. Application in for road construction to begin after ground thaws. I went and looked under our archived and current things, and there's no application in there for
I
that.
don't know
And so I don't know what that's talking about.
if it even came in, if they even submitted anything for it. I don't see anything for showing though.
So I guess,
Was there a house number or anything there?
I don't think he gave it.
no, there's not. But I would think that for that question, we might want to defer approval of the minutes till the next meeting where we can
Yeah,
maybe go
Figured
to
all that out.
stories out.
Okay, so I make a motion to table. It was just that second one, correct?
You can just table, the
Well,
whole- you can just table the whole motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just leave them on there to,
It's,
Let me.
Item 7 and 8.
The approval for both items on the minutes.
you can just table the minutes, just leave them on the agenda for.
Yeah,
the next
okay,
one.
so I did motion to table the minutes from last meeting.
a second,
All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Yeah, I'll talk to Wayne about these and see what we can come up with.
but I don't recall any discussion about this property putting a road in.
I don't remember talking about that either.
Yeah.
Unless it was just supposed to be, Joe was gonna receive the application and bring it to us and then.
That's what I thought it was, and I don't think
Yeah.
anything ever came, from what I see on the website, I don't see anything.
Maybe the project.
Yeah.
Dissolved,
Anything, yeah.
or they could be waiting on approval because, or agent enforcement because we don't, or agent action, I mean, because we don't.
There's no.
Really haven't
there's
even
no
heard.
agent here.
And I think it's gonna end up coming to the commission for approval, because even when we get a new wetlands agent, he's not gonna be certified to do anything in this, right? So,
Sure. Okay, so we table that for now. Yeah, Okay, no public comment, no old business. New business, we received application permit number 26-2. Replacement of bridge number 001007 Lake Road over Cheney Brook.
That'd be me.
That's you.
How would you like me to do this? Just paper or?
So Howard has some stuff on the easel here, and there's some stuff I can share on the screen too, I guess whatever's easier for you guys to
But I think it's,
do.
I think it's best to use what's on the screen. I mean, we have all the stuff in the, on the website
Okay,
and,
And
that
he
way
emailed me
it
some
gets
stuff,
into
too, that I
the-
can
It
pull
gets
up.
into the video record.
yeah, some of the stuff on the website is very grainy, so that's why we had it here.
Okay.
To just see if I can share both at the same time, so you let me know whatever you wanna start with, I can pull up.
Yeah, why
Whatever,
don't you
great.
start with the drawings?
Any of these.
Irish joint at the bottom there. Yeah, okay. All right, good evening. My name is Howard Fromer, professional engineer with Jacobson Associates. I work with Joe Dillon. I guess you guys probably know Joe Dillon. I've been working on this project for a few years here. It's a town project, so I'm here representing the town. This is a small culvert project, probably big for this town, and it's a grant funded project, and I'll get into a little bit of that later. I've got maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes of stuff to tell you, just to give you a quick smattering. You know, this is the first meeting. Some towns don't want me to speak at all, but somebody invited me here today, so I assume you would like a bit of a presentation.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
Wayne initially emailed me and just kind of told us that this was going on and how we normally go about these things. And I said that a presentation just to give us a background and kind of an idea of, you know, what the plan is and what your thoughts were.
Sure, okay.
But I do think, I think the town is paying for this one, because this is a town road and, haven't gone to the finance, public hearing that they had the other night. If it was on a state road, the state would be, we could get reimbursed, so.
So this
It's
is,
not, I don't think it makes any difference from your presentation, but I do think the town is on the hook.
I think it's.
pay for this.
state-
So this is
state-
this is a state local bridge program project. So the state local bridge program is providing a grant for 50% of the total project cost. So
Okay,
you
that's
had-
what it
you
was,
just-
so yeah, it's probably a $2 million project, we're on the hook for $1 million.
Right, so you guys
Okay,
just
yeah.
recently had a.
It's not a $1 million
Federal
gonna
local
come out.
bridge program project, right?
Yeah,
Right, that was a little different. That was probably 100%.
it was,
Or an 80-20 split, one or the other.
it was 100%.
So this is 50-50.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That, you're right.
Yeah, so let's, maybe the next sheet there. So how about the colored one? So there was, remember the individual ones they just sent a few months ago? Let's go to them. One of the colored ones. It's easier, I think, for these guys to see. Not that one. One that had- that's- maybe number 1, it's probably down there. Yeah. Okay, so this is our existing condition plan. Let's show up on it. Well. Tricky for me to see it, so I'm just gonna go with it. So. The existing culvert carries Lake Road, sort of an east-west orientation, over Cheney Brook, which flows from south at the bottom of the sheet up towards the north, towards, the lake. The culvert is just immediately east of Osola, Lake Road. The wetlands are, well, obviously you can see the brook, which is sort of a light blue, and then the sort of shaded blue on the outside of that to the first dark line, if you will, is the wetland line. The green line way out over to the left of the sheet is a 200-foot upland review line, and then the next line to the right of that, the blue one there, that's 100-foot. And if you look way over to the right, you'll see a little bit of green, and if you look to the left, there's a little bit of a light blue. The darker blue upstream, dark blue line dashed upstream and downstream, so that's the 100-year existing floodplain. Just to give you a sense for how much of the woods would flood during a 100-year storm event. The existing culvert is a 14-foot span by 8.25-foot rise bolted corrugated metal pipe arch with a concrete invert. Barrel length is about 37 feet long in the direction of water flow. The road's about 30 feet wide. The barrel has a perched outlet. I'm sure you guys have heard of that sort of thing before. It sort of prevents the passage of aquatic organisms wanting to swim upstream. Bedrock is visible right at the outlet. So bedrock is pretty high, and that was confirmed with some borings that we did. The problem with the culvert, and maybe you could go to the photos. I think it was the first emails I sent you tonight, and I think it's the photos. So the problem with the culvert is the downstream wing walls and parapets are cement masonry units, and there's 100% section loss of a number of flanges and webs on random sections. Let's see, yeah, keep scrolling down. Okay, there you go. It's good enough to see. So that's the downstream side. So each one of what you're looking at is cement masonry units. I don't know exactly what's behind that. You know, it could just be a vertical wall that's, you know, not very wide. So there's not a lot left holding the road up. Roadside barriers don't meet current standards of design. And of course, I mentioned the perched outlet. The upstream side of the bridge has cast in place wing walls and head walls, but for whatever reason on the downstream side here, they used cement masonry units. To show the proposed plan, so it'll be the second colored plan. So it was the email that I sent tonight that had 2 PDFs. That'll be the one that says number. Blue. Yeah, that is out in there. Okay, so this is colored. It's a little bit busy, but it's colored, so I think you'll get the idea. So the extent of the road work is sort of at the limits of these hatched areas are basically a road construction entrances. But you can see the limits of the road work. The width of the road is going to remain the same at 30 feet. The geometry is the same. Both the vertical profile and horizontal profile is the same. The intersection with Balsola Road is essentially the same, although when you pull out of Balsola and you take a right, the radius is going to be enlarged a little bit. There is some storm drainage. You can see 3 catch basins kind of around the Balsola Lake Road intersection. Those are going to discharge through the wall of the proposed structure. The proposed structure is going to be a precast reinforced concrete 3-sided frame. So it's sort of like a box culvert with no floor. And that's going to sit, I'll show you a detail later on, you'll understand it completely, but it's going to sit on a cast in place reinforced footing, which is going to be poured directly on the rock. And then the rest of the concrete portion of the bridge will also be cast in place, reinforced, the wing walls, head walls, bridge rail parapet, end walls. I'll show you some details afterwards just to get you a quick view of that. The bridge was designed hydraulically per the DOT drainage manual for a 100-year storm event based on the contributing drainage area. Roadside barriers will be improved. We'll have a bridge rail and approach guide road, which will meet the current standards. I'll show you this too on another detail, but we're going to have inside the barrel, we're going to have a riparian shelves on both sides of the channel. So for those terrestrial animals, and I've seen this actually, they'll like to run along the edge of the stream rather than having to go up over the embankment and with a potential mortality issue. Now they can, you know, go through the barrel.
That's what we did.
I have seen it.
Yeah, right.
I have seen it actually happen that way, so it does happen. We're also going to have natural stream bottom material placed back anywhere where the channel is disturbed. It's sort of the grayish area in the middle of the channel, both up and downstream of the culvert. Culvert's going to be slightly realigned, so the outlet will be in the same position horizontally. The inlet will move to the east about 6 feet, primarily because otherwise it just created a very, very steep slope and taller walls to climb back up to the Balsola Road. From a permit perspective, actually maybe erosion control perspective, because that's really what we're here for tonight. So this is from our erosion control plan. There are erosion checks around the toes of the slopes, which are, I guess, that vein color, which are blankets. So blankets on all the slopes. The inlets, the catch basins will all have controls around those. There'll be construction entrances at the 3 sort of entrances to the project, if you will. We have a dedicated pump discharge point at the far northeast quadrant there. If you look downstream of the bridge to the right, you'll see a little square. So it's outside of the wetlands, but in a sort of a flat area, so water coming out of that will flow back into the channel. I can show you pictures of the erosion control details if you'd like to see that. There's also going to be, on this plan, I think we show there's 34 plants to sort of reestablish the embankment. Okay, yeah, and I think that's gonna be it for this one. From a permitting perspective, obviously, we're here tonight for a wetlands permit. The town determined that a planning and zoning CGS 824 permit is not required. We're going to pursue an Army Corps permit under the nationwide program that came out in the middle of March. DEP's granted a 401 water quality certification to them for the two nationwide permits that this project would fall under, to be one of the two. So that's taken care of. As part of that federal permit process, there's some due diligence work that we had to accomplish. We checked the DEP Natural Diversity Database. Based on the last map we saw, this project's not in an area of concern. We had to reach out to the State Historic Preservation Office. They had no concerns. Had to reach out to U.S. Fish and Wildlife. They identified a bat and a butterfly, and we're going to be dealing with that. And also had to reach out to 4 different Indian tribes, and we did not receive any response, but that is very typical. No response is their response in my experience. And then the agency that seems to carry the largest sword in the equation here would be Connecticut DEP Inland Fisheries Division. Their primary comment was to maintain a certain period, a time of year restriction for unconfined in-stream activities. We obtained that comment from them prior to the new nationwide permit release in March, which is actually a more restrictive time of year restriction for Connecticut, which basically is that no one can find in-stream work in April, May, or June, and you cannot put a cofferdam in or take it out during April, May, or June. And that's a little bit different than the way it used to be. So right now, our drawings have the note on there that complies with fisheries, but it's on my to-do list that we're gonna change it to comply with the Corps, because we have to submit this to the Corps, and it will be acceptable to fisheries. It's now sort of the de facto standard, basically April, May, June, spring season, no unconfined activities, and no installation of a cofferdam or removal. You used to be able to put a cofferdam in or take it out any time of year, it didn't matter. But now April, May, and June are out of play. So maybe what I should do, can we go back to the big set of plans? I could just show you real quickly the general plan so you can just see the structure real quick. In case there's any confusion about it, what it might look like. It's in the, oh yeah, it's in the progress drawings. It's probably about halfway through the setup.
Is this the original bridge to this road?
Excuse me?
Is this the original bridge to this road, you know?
Well, I'm not that old. I don't know. I don't know. And for all I know, the bridges there now could have been a replacement for something prior. Yeah.
The lake did used to be there. Never mind.
Okay. Here we go. That's the one. There you go. Yeah, I just wanted you to see a depiction of the elevation view of the structure for whatever that's worth. Maybe I just want to let them see the plan view at the top. Yeah, so at the plan view in the top right corner of the sheet, which shows the plan of the frame, you can see the parapets along the edge of the road. But I wanted you to see the storm drain line proposed that's going to come through the wall of the frame, and then we'll have a little bit of riprap beneath that because there's water dripping out of it, and I don't want it to take away from the riparian shelf or the channel within the barrel. If you can scroll the sheet up just a little bit, you can get a sense, there you can get a sense for the channel through the barrel. It's sort of a trapezoid with 2 shelves on the left and right.
So you're saying the water on the road is gonna be going down into inside and draining into the river or stream under the bridge?
So the water of the road would get intercepted by the catch basin grates and then conveyed by pipe between those catch basins. And that pipe rather than discharging to the channel outside the bridge, would come through the wall of the bridge and discharge to the channel, within the structure. So I believe the invert is gonna be about 5 feet above the riparian shelf, if I recall correctly. I had difficulties trying to take that in, like, right down to the stream. The channel is very steep down, the
Oh, yeah.
embankment is steep down to the stream, and I would rather not put, you guys can tell me what you like, but I would rather not put the outlet right at the edge of the stream, and I'd rather have it sort of spill on something or have some sort of erosion control, or ideally, it'd be better just to let it sort of cascade down on some sort of a slope with riprap, but this seemed to be the better alternative in our opinion. Every town's different, not sure.
So how far up, how high up is it gonna be, the opening into the out of the bridge?
Let me just double check with sheet up there. It's a real number. Yeah, about 5 feet, to the invert is a 15-inch corrugated plastic pipe that will go through the wall of the frame. And so the invert would be at about the 5 foot level.
So it'll be dropping out.
So it would drop from there down to some riprap,
Right,
right? Right,
and then that'll run into the stream.
no, right into the stream.
It's interesting.
It's gonna be on the inside?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. This would, first.
So this is the roadway.
Yeah.
And these are the parapets, bridge rails. These are the walls of the frame.
Okay,
So
yeah, the frame here. Also, okay, so it's gonna be coming this.
Yeah, this views you actually don't see it, but it's sort of be coming through the wall. Right?
Over the riparian shelf, past that.
No, right flush to the
Oh, right,
inside of the wall, so the water it's not gonna come shooting out of there unless it's
That's where the riprap is gonna be right here.
yes, exactly, which is what we show. That square area there. It's just in these views, you don't see that,
Sure.
so we didn't show it.
It's gonna be flush, sure.
Yes, right, the end of the pipe will be flush with the inside of the wall of the frame.
How far is the riprap bed supposed to come out into the channel?
I show it with, a break line here. The intent is we're gonna bring it right down to the bottom. But I should probably make that a little bit clearer.
Right to the channel.
Yeah, I would bring it right down to the bottom. I really don't want it to erode anything on its way down.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause that was my concern. I don't wanna cause any like turbidity inside the channel bottom and wash out that channel bottom and have. Your sediment moving downstream. Yep.
Construction period, we're looking at June to October. 5 month period in 2027. So go out probably to bid later this year or early next year. We do have bypass pipes. We gotta do the construction in the dry, so we're gonna put 2 smaller diameter bypass pipes right through the existing pipe. And then use sort of sandbag super sacks to create a cofferdam on the upstream and downstream sides of that bypass pipe. So the contractor can do water the work area. And that was also designed per the DOT drainage manual, in this case for a 2-year storm. That's about it. It's, I'm opening up to your questions. Again, it's a grant funded project, 50% town project. Right now, the town is hopefully going after getting the easements. That's really about, well, one of the things would be holding up going out to bid, but we have a little bit of time between now and the end of the year, or say the January timeframe when we go out to bid.
What would you say the safety is on this bridge right now?
Safety on bridge right now? I wouldn't wanna say, I wouldn't go on record and say, I can tell you that typically, if a bridge is not posted, the idea is it's capable of carrying all state legal loads. It's not to say that there isn't a problem.
Yeah,
I know we haven't been asked to go out there and take a look at it beyond the initial look we did. So, I mean, when I went out there initially, you know, the metal was in pretty decent shape. There was a little bit of corrosion, not bad. It's that downstream wall that's a little disturbing because
right.
it's a fair drop from the road to the invert. And you sort of wonder, you know, is that the masonry you're looking at, is that the only thing holding up the road embankment? Is there concrete behind it? Is there something more behind it?
Yeah.
Because it sure looks horrible.
I
Standing there looking at it.
I was there today. I went by there just to check it out. And I said, man, this thing's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, so it's something that definitely needs to be done. It's a decent drop from the road to the invert.
And so the road is gonna be closed for the, you know, in that area for the period June through November or whatever?
Yes, the road will be closed and we have to maintain access to Pasola. I didn't really go over the M&P plan, which I could if you like. I didn't think it was too germane, but we're gonna have to cut sort of a one-lane shared road. Yeah, as you're coming out of Pasola, you're gonna veer off to the left before you actually get to the intersection.
Oh,
And we're gonna, if the property owner is listening now, it's gonna be a surprise. I don't know if the town's reached out to them yet, but we've got to get an easement from them to have a one-lane shared road to connect Pasola back to Lake Road, so it kind of skirts the work. All the work will be on the right as you drive on that one-lane road.
okay.
So Lake Road would be closed, Pasola would be open,
Okay.
yeah.
Equipment staging for the construction, where would the equipment be staged?
Yeah, typically do that right in the road. And because it's closed, that makes things real easy.
Okay. What are the potential vegetation impacts? And how will they be penalized? These are questions that, we had from another board member that could be here tonight.
Yeah, maybe the first thing I should do is maybe go, can we show from here the very last plan is an environmental impact plan?
In this deck.
In this set, maybe I start with that?
Sure.
There we go. So I don't know, can you zoom this? Yeah, so this is the last plan in the set, and this is showing sort of environmental impacts. There's a table off to the right on the drawing, which is sort of out of the view at the moment, but all these little numbers in the white refer to that table. So for instance, the red number 1 is a permanent impact to the water course. That's actually where the existing barrel is. The green is temporary impact to the water course, although I will tell you, I believe this is an error here. On the inlet side on the left, all the grading going back up the hill, that should be a permanent impact in the water course, that should be red, so that area 7 really should be adjusted. Excuse me, that's a permanent impact in the wetland, not a temporary impact in the wetland. So vegetation impacts, you know, the embankment is sort of steep out there now, and obviously if we're going to be grading the embankment, the vegetation is going to be disturbed, removed. Trees would be removed, slopes would be organized to a 2-to-1 slope. That's why we've got, you know, we reestablished the vegetation. At the moment, it's a typical seed mix. There are 34 plants proposed that we had our soil scientists recommend based on, I guess, the moisture of the soil or how close, if you're planting lower to the wetland, he's got one species. If it's a little higher up, it's a different species, and that's sort of out of my wheelhouse. One thought that I had driving up here tonight is, if this is something that the commission would like to see, some commissions like to see this. So the riprap we have on our detail is pretty much just riprap, but the interstices, the voids are filled to make it a solid mass. Some towns like to see a little bit of topsoil on that, and then perhaps a wetland seed mix where it's appropriate. We run the riprap right above, 1 foot above the 100-year floodplain line, but perhaps down low, a wetland seed mix would be appropriate, and then maybe the other half of the riprap with a regular seed mix. I mean, be happy to, if that's something this commission feels is important, we could incorporate something like that. I don't want to be so bold and suggest as a condition of approval, but I guess that's how perhaps it could be handled. Sure.
I don't know how everybody else feels. Part of me almost feels that just the plain riprap would be better to catch any sediment coming from anywhere else before it goes into the water course. versus that putting vegetation back? What are your guys' thoughts?
It's pretty steep there,
That's very.
real steep, especially on that left side.
Yeah, all
I
the
think
proposed
it's
slopes
gonna
are.
wash in, it's gonna wash in, doesn't matter if you. With the riprap or
Yeah.
everything other. That's
Today,
that's steep like this.
out there today, which is why you see a lot of grading, all around the bridges on the embankments. We're trying to organize that back to a 2-to-1 slope.
So we
which-
just kind of like, when it goes down, then kind of maybe try to make it a little less of before it gets to the water. What you're saying?
It is actually on the inlet, as you're approaching the bridge on the right, it definitely is, you can see.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the right, it's,
And there's a little bit on the, I guess, on the outlet on the left and the right, because of the remains of the riparian shelf. Not so much on the inlet to the left. There's a little bit of riparian shelf, and then of course it goes right up to the one, right up to Bosola.
right,
Yeah,
so I'm saying it's like, it's steep, and it goes right down to the water. Steep, and is there like would you think about maybe making it less steep when you get closer to the water? Leveling it off a little bit?
to make it less steep, getting closer to the harbor would be a major revision. Footings would have to be dropped on the walls, all the walls, because, the grade is maybe it's a little less steep at the bottom, maybe, I don't know how much you're thinking about. And then it goes up 2-to-1 to make it even less steep, and then, push those permanent grades back would require dropping the footings more. Our footings are sort of stepped. As the grade climbs, we don't want to keep the footings real deep because it's sort of a waste of money if we don't need to keep them that deep. So the footings get stepped, trying to maintain a frost protection over the bottom footing. Yeah. So,
I know on the last bridge we were talking about, there was heavy discussion by Hank Gruner. And I didn't hear any of that here, and I don't know if there's just no heptologist concerned with this one. I mean, the last one was over the Hop River, this one's Little Brook, but
Hank is a herpetologist?
yes,
Yeah, so this project did not fall within an NDDB area of concern based on the last map we looked at.
okay,
That's usually the trigger. They'll write back and tell you what species, and, typically it's a turtle.
okay, so,
Typically it's a wood turtle, a box turtle, or
oh, yeah.
so usually what we
Little
recommend.
snake. Yeah,
Yeah, this one didn't have that.
okay,
So far, so far.
There are wood turtles in
Okay.
Cheney Brook.
Well, somebody could, there's a form you can fill out with deep, and then what they do is those bubble areas change. They publish that map, I think once or maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
And it changes. So I guess it depends who gets there first, you or me.
I would think that either you or Wayne would just reach out to Hank and make sure he doesn't have any concerns about that.
I know that, cause I live over there and I've seen them.
See him? Okay.
They are there. I've seen 3 of them, so.
Okay.
Now, I didn't go over there by the bridge, but I mean, upstream. So, just so you know. just in
Yeah,
case.
I don't know why we couldn't just incorporate something about that. So we typically, unless the DEP tells us something specific they want with respect to turtles, what I would suggest is we like to put a picture of a turtle on the drawings in color so everybody can see what a wood turtle looks like. I'm talking about the contractor's personnel. And then we have sort of standard turtle protection notes which sort of follow what DEP would typically tell us. Things like putting up exclusionary fencing, sweeping the area in the morning, get the turtles out of there if there are any there, knowing what they look like. They're protected, so you don't hurt them. Then you pick them up, you put them out in the direction of walking, that sort of thing. So, if that's something the commission feels important, we can certainly add that regardless of what.
Definitely
he
should.
says.
Cause they're there,
Wood turtle, you were saying?
they're in there,
Mhm.
definitely. I'm an eyewitness.
Okay.
One concern I know that we've had as a commission before was certain bridge projects, like I think it was Long Hill. In the proposed plan was to remove some vegetation, and then after the project, Jed had the concern also before. a lot more vegetation was removed that was not talked about. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, we have, so the lines with like in the bottom of the sheet, the solid with the 3 dashes are easements. We don't have a legal right to go outside those easements. You're seeing the sort of curly line that follows the toe of the slope, a sort of a clearing limit. You know, my thoughts are, we've got this thing graded and there are no more contours to show. These are all the contours there are. There's nothing forgotten in here. And we don't have the right to go beyond. I don't know if you could pan so you can see the outlet side, look at the easement lines going around everything. So I guess, so there's room to move there. Maybe that's a concern on the downstream side, far left and right. There's a lot of white area there beyond the woods. But usually, you know, what we'll do is there'll be an inspector on this job from our office. That's the plan at the moment. The contractor is required to, you know, use a licensed surveyor to flag the limits. And then our inspector would walk in with them and make sure it generally, you know, follows the plan. I've had projects before, I'm not suggesting this here, where commissions have said, I want you to put a Jersey barrier all the way around the perimeter of the work to make sure, because that's a pretty definitive thing, you know, it's easy to knock the silt fence over, but getting a Jersey barrier, you know, 20-foot stick of it or a 10-foot stick of it through the woods, multiple, is pretty disturbing in and of itself. Maybe the thing to do is put up silt fence and maybe you want snow fence also. You know, it's a little higher, it's orange. Maybe something like that would help to reinforce, not structurally, but reinforce that, hey, this is the limit.
So that external limit that you have there, is that just going to be flagged or is that going to be silt fence currently? That outside line, the easement line.
The easement line, so you're wondering why, so
Is it just going to be flagged right now or are you guys actually putting up silt fence?
I'm not sure I understand when you say, is it just gonna be flat?
Like just the boundaries are just gonna be marked, like
Oh,
marked?
the easement line would be marked in the field.
Okay, is it,
Yes.
are you guys putting up silt fence or is that not part of the plan?
Yes, no, silt fence is part of the plan.
Okay,
Yes.
that was my question, I guess, if you
Yes.
guys were using silt fence.
Yeah, and our surveyor, that's part of what we do is to, you know, put up stakes and flagging and all the turning points and temporary easements. I don't think there's any, there's a small permanent easement on this one. And they'll physically, you know, put a pipe or a line in for that, but
Sure.
So,
So a concern of mine, you know, is if we have a wetlands agent, he's our expert, you know, and again, you know, I've been kind of, if Hank likes it, I like it, yeah, but I think the last bridge we turned over to the wetlands agent to approve, you know, we ought to, I'm not sure we should be approving this without the benefit of a wetland agent.
Sure.
I don't know where we stand on hiring one of those.
Right, because technically we have no one in the field right now currently to oversee the project.
Well, and he's supposed to come to us and say, I like it.
Sure.
You know, I think this is a good plan or whatever. He's our technical expert on that stuff. And I'm sure the plan is great.
Sure, yeah,
But, you know, to represent, you know, and Nathan Jacobson, you know, is our town engineer, so, you know, I'm sure that's all there, but the key guy on the commission is not here.
yeah, that's definitely a valid concern. That we don't have someone representing the commission on site or, you know, visiting the site or going with the plans or.
Yeah. And we know, does anybody know where we stand on getting the new agent?
I have not heard anything.
Okay, yeah. That's not your fault, that's our
Yeah,
fault.
yeah, right.
yeah, no, I understand the frustration.
Sure. I mean, at least for now, we're only
Right.
receiving them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we got at least, we got another month, but
Correct.
it is a concern of mine that our agent isn't working with Howard to
Yeah.
go through the other thing with it, yeah.
Or, you know, because really we have no one right now to present any concerns or positive or negative, you know,
Right.
things to us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess we can received the application.
I guess we could ask Joe Dillon to, fill in that role, he probably, I'm sure he's all in favor of it, he must,
Yeah, that'd be sort of a strange conflict.
It would,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's right in my office across the hall from it. It really should be an independent person. If that's what you want it reviewed, it should be somebody independent, yeah,
I'm sure.
We'll try to figure that out.
yeah.
If there's sediment buildup on the upstream side of the bridge, how is that going to be handled?
Sediment
With the
buildup
new
on the
bridge.
upstream side of the bridge.
So. Oh. Got locked on my phone.
So, I think, is somebody thinking about just random? Maybe we should look at the water handling plan, maybe that.
Sure,
help.
that- sure, that'd be great.
Let's do that, it's also probably in the first third of the set.
So I'm thinking if you have sediment buildup on the upstream side of the bridge. Once that builds up, is that going to wash downstream and change the water course downstream?
All right, yeah, let's take a look at the water handling.
Do that.
I put in, I have my work phone, I was putting the passcode for that on my first.
How long you have to wait?
A minute.
Where are you? Oh, yeah, we got it very fast, it's probably, I don't know, I guess like sheet 8 or something.
All the water did bad in here.
Okay, so it's the detail on the top left.
Second one.
It just seems weird that they're just one on top of another. They just all that, all old and
that's it.
all our bridges in Andover, they
Yeah,
all
that's it.
apart.
They're just old, we haven't,
We haven't done it.
haven't been working on it.
Yeah, so this is the water handling plan I mentioned before about sleeving 2 smaller diameter pipes through the existing barrel with sort of these super sack type sandbags. You guys have probably seen them. They're like a cubic yard. To create a cofferdam up and downstream. I don't. Is there gonna be sediment? How's the sediment gonna be handled? First of all, I'm thinking to myself that, the cofferdam is gonna maintain the flow, so, you can get flow from upgrading, so go through the pipes, come out of the pipe, continue on the merry way. But is somebody thinking that while that's going on, we're gonna get some sedimentation coming down the slopes and into the brook? I guess that's what somebody's saying.
So I guess it was,
Are they looking for some more erosion control at the base of slopes? We have riprap, which to your point is one reason to leave it always open, because if you do get sediment coming down, it catches there, yeah. The other thing I'm thinking about is, we have erosion control blanket on all the vegetated slopes. So, will there not be any sedimentation? I mean, I can't stand here and say that, but I can tell you that'd be a heck of a lot better than something that, was not, blanketed. Especially because, when you first put the topsoil and the seed down, sure enough, you get a big old rainstorm.
of course.
It's, yeah. And I'm thinking that by the time, once the bridge is in place, the walls are in place. Most of the walls are in place, that water handling can come out of there. It's not really answering the question. I guess the bigger issue is that we've got riprap. The riprap starts right at the, most upstream end of the natural stream bottom materials, all riprap on the banks all the way to the bridge. So at the toe of all that slope on the upstream side, and on the downstream side, it's sort of the same thing. I don't know if you guys can see the difference in the hatch pattern between the blanket area and the riprap. It's kind of hard to detect, I think, on the screen here.
Yeah.
But there's, maybe I could point here. Maybe just up or downstream. Yeah, as you go through the barrel on the right-hand side, there's a riprap that goes all the way to that cofferdam. Can you see the hatch with sort of the circles in it? Okay. Yeah. And the same on the left side, after you go through the barrel. I guess that's probably what would capture any sediment.
Are you gonna be reworking those, by the road, not right at the stream, but where you have all those lines and, numbers? Are you gonna rework that whole area, or are you gonna leave what's there? There's rocks that are there.
So. So I could point to it here. Can
Is it
you,
right here, Bill?
Yeah, that spot.
yeah, but you're along the stream edge. Can you like zoom into the outlet area in particular? Yeah, just. Okay. Yeah, so this area is sort of a continuation of the riparian shelf. It's fairly flattish compared to the 2-to-1 slope. So to your point, you come out of the channel, the channel needs to have a little bit of a defined bank. And you're coming up out of that channel about 3 feet. And then it's a somewhat level area. That's sort of the end of the riparian shelf. It gets a little wider as you come out of the bridge, and then the slope begins to come up. So to your point, you got a channel, it does flatten out a little bit, and then it goes back up. I don't know if that's sort of answering your question. You can see that over here too. Comes up about 3 feet from the channel, because that's what we have going through the barrel. We have sort of a little trapezoidal channel. And then this flattish area here, it's not completely flat. It's, about a 1 foot drop across it, but it's flatter than 2-to-1 considerably. And that's the continuation of the riparian shelf. And then from there, it's 2-to-1 back up. And you can look at the inlet side too. And maybe you can see the same thing over here. This is, you can see the same thing here in this area. And then over here, as you approach the barrel on the left.
Okay, I guess my question really is, are you gonna? It's already kind of what you're talking about, but are you gonna rework it, and is this all gonna be redone along the road there?
Oh,
And
per these plans, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's already there, there's stuff there already, and it kind of looks similar to what you have up there, but.
Yeah, if you really studied it and you looked at, we look at another plan that has just the contours, but none of the hatch, you can see the proposed contours versus existing. I mean, I could show you that. It's
So you're gonna.
kind of the same, but not really.
You're gonna redo.
We're gonna redo it. We're gonna
You're
redo
gonna
it.
redo it.
Yeah, in some places it's very steep.
You're gonna redo that whole stuff, cause.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped a whole lot of rock out there already. I don't know if you probably have seen it.
I haven't been out there in a few months.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock there already.
Where was that drop?
I was gonna say that relatively,
I don't know why it was put there. It was just there.
Something recent?
Probably for the same thing that we've just been talking about, silt running down off the road and off that slope. Down into that area, into the stream, but because there's so much rock there, there's not gonna be a lot of silt coming off of there.
Where was it dropped? I'm just concerned that if it's something that would affect the cost of the job, I have to have somebody swing.
Right here, this spot right here.
it'll look,
Not only dropped, place, yeah, right over here, this whole area, it's all got rock on it.
Oh, okay, so something recent.
Something kind of recent, I mean, within, I don't know how long ago, but.
All right, we'll take a look at that and look back at our existing
I
conditions.
mean, I was just, you answered my question, actually, you're gonna redo the whole thing. That's what I'm asking.
We're gonna redo the whole thing.
You're gonna redo that whole thing, so it's,
Again, if you study it, you'll see there's a difference between the existing and proposed contours. Yeah. It's gonna get redone.
So you said the outlet's gonna be in about the same place, but the inlet is gonna move more east. Is that gonna change water velocity at all?
No, if anything, the water velocity is gonna decrease certainly in a large storm. A much larger waterway area, almost twice the span.
Okay. So that's gonna
Really?
be a larger opening.
Yeah, the existing span
Twice as wide?
is 14 feet.
uh,
We wanted to put a riparian shelf in there. I know that's something that I don't believe it's currently a regional permit requirement from the Corps, but I've had projects in the past where the Corps have asked for that, and we thought this would be an appropriate place for that. And it's not, the shelf is 2 or 3 feet wide. I don't remember. We can look at the plan. So you have the channel bottom inside the barrel. It kind of comes up at a 2-to-1 for 3 or 4 feet, and then that riparian shelf. You add all that up together, you end up with about a 28-foot span,
How big? 21,
about 28.
28.
And also, I should say that, the core permit requires that the span be at least 1.2 times the bank full width of the existing channel. And I know that played into it as well. And there wasn't a lot of hydraulic improvement here, because that really isn't the issue. The real issue is that downstream wing wall gonna hold up, or are we gonna lose that wing wall? That's gotta be repaired. Anyway, so I don't recall exactly, but it could be that the 1.2 bank full width controlled the span, that 28-foot span, but then it worked out with making that trapezoidal channel and repairing shelves.
And you said right now the span is 14?
14 feet.
So, you're not gonna use that same material that they originally, that's up there now, right? You're the same kind of, what are you gonna put up? Kind of, is it all concrete?
Yeah, all the concrete will be, except for the frame will be precast concrete. Everything else will be reinforced cast in place concrete. Yeah, we're not gonna use CMUs, which are, concrete masonry units.
So where the stormwater control comes out on the inside there, that's gonna be precast.
Correct.
Now, is there any potential for freezing on that to, I don't know, reduce stormwater control? If that freezes as it's coming out?
Oh, as it comes out, yeah, I suppose you could get a little bit of icing. But, it's like any other storm drain, it's, the ground is fairly warm. And then pipes are down there 3.5 feet, and I don't think I've ever really seen a storm drain freeze. In the dead of winter, I mean, who knows what the future holds for temperatures in the winter, but I mean, storm lines. When you're not getting melt, when you get melt, they operate even in the winter, right? You could probably get a little bit of ice where this thing breaks free and runs through the air or spills down the side of the precast right on top of the riprap.
Okay, because I guess my concern was where it comes out, if that freezes and the water can't flow, is the water up on the road gonna go around the stormwater control and cause erosion down into the bank?
Boy, that would be just such an extreme event, I just cannot imagine.
I'm just curious if that's, or is that not, probably not?
I'll never be one to say it'll never, right? But I just cannot imagine, because I mean, it's a 15-inch pipe that would have to freeze solid. And at the same time,
Yeah.
you're somehow getting water to run. Well, why is that fair and solid and water running? There had to be some sort of a period of time where the cold temperatures got a little warmer. And we actually had precip instead of snow falling. I just can't imagine.
Sure, makes sense.
Does the plan have any consideration for the storm of the century coming through, while you've got half the channel secured? I guess, just let her rip, and,
Yeah, that's
the good news is the road's already closed and, dug up.
It's $1 million question, and inevitably, I don't want to say inevitably, because this past summer we had, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these projects going on, and it worked out great. No, but there was no big event.
Okay.
But it always seems like, as soon as you, reduce the waterway area, you put it through a smaller pipe based on a 3-year storm per the DOT drainage manual. That's no guarantee that you're not gonna get some big event coming through there during construction, and it's gonna flood the cofferdam and, make a mess. That's possible.
Yeah.
Right? And then that has to get cleaned up. I guess one thing I will say is that the flow, a 2-year flow and a 100-year flow, it's not a linear relationship. I mean, a 2-year discharge is probably about 50% of a 100-year discharge. So if that makes you feel any better. But yeah, it's possible. This year happened to be real good. I've had projects where, and we have notes in the drawings, that's why we show where the flood limits are. And the notes on the drawing say, if NOAA predicts a flood event in the area of the project, to get your stuff out of the floodplain. That's why we show where the floodplain is. And, doesn't mean he's gonna pull his cofferdam, but he might pull any piles or equipment and piles of material or equipment or things that, could create a problem. So we do our best to protect against it.
Sounds pretty good to me. Anybody else have any concerns?
Let's do it. Do it tomorrow.
All right, so we received the application, so it'll have to be till next month till we approve it. I'll reach out to Hank and see what his thoughts are. I'm gonna reach out to Wayne too as well, see kind of where we stand or how we go forward without a wetlands agent. And I'm sure Wayne will be in contact with you.
I'd like to, put some things in here, like I said I would do, the turtle notes and photo, if you'd like me to do that. I think it's probably a good idea anyway, and about the wood turtles, regardless of whether, if you guys wanna just not even worry about it, I'll put it on there. The notes, the time of year notes to comply with the Army Corps. Anyway, when I do this, should I resubmit revised drawings for the record? How do you like that? Give them to you a certain number of days before your next meeting,
Yeah, I would reach out to, I guess, to Wayne. Cause Wayne was in contact with you before this meeting, correct?
No, no.
I'm not sure. I got an email from 3 different places in town. It was signed by Wayne, but something said admin at Andover, zoning at Andover, and building something at Andover. I'm not really sure.
Building is probably Lynn,
Okay,
zoning is Wayne,
Is Wayne,
admin, I don't know,
I think that would be Lynn too.
Lynn,
yeah.
let's see.
I should know.
Yeah, zoning would come from Wayne.
Who's Wayne?
The zoning agent.
Right, so Wayne was one that reached out to you about coming to present in here tonight, just to give us basically a rundown and a briefing on the whole project.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess if you wanted to submit any updates or anything to him. And then him and I'll be in contact.
Do you guys do a sidewalk? Or,
We can do, so
I'm not asking for it, I'm just, if you do, I guess I should be there and
sure.
decide to do that.
Yeah, if we decide to do a sidewalk or something, do you guys feel necessary to do one at this point?
I don't, I'm kind of familiar with it.
That's what
I was just there today. It needs to be replaced, yesterday.
Yeah, he's nervous after
Sooner.
starting today, once it done yesterday.
Especially if it's gonna be solid concrete instead of what we have there, which is something that.
I think we're not without a sidewalk. If we decide to do one, we can definitely reach out to you and let you know if you'd like to be present for it.
And, should I get revised drawings in a certain number of days before your next meeting? Just so I know what to shoot for.
Yeah, right.
A week would be
No,
good.
I was just gonna say maybe about a week. Before the next meeting, does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I think that's all the questions we have for you.
Okay, all right,
Thank you for showing up.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a timely thing. Thank you very much.
You think we're working on this for years, couple of years?
Oh, more than that.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been going on for a while. It's just. Yeah, I don't know. 6 days.
Wow.
Wow. Why did it take so long?
I yeah, the design end of it, I think easements are probably the tallest goal intent. Behind that is typically permits, but it's not this time. And running a close second would be utility coordination, but it's not. We got that worked out, so it's just,
I mean, this is typically how long things take to get going.
I've had some that literally have gone for, 15 years, unfortunately, just,
Really?
DOT things, which are, I mean, blame the DOT, but it's a different, it's one very regimented, a lot of oversight. This program sort of leaves the buck with the chief elected official in the town and their designer. And DOT is more of an administrative review process, like your federal local bridge program you just had. All kinds of, we've done stuff with them, it's all kinds of, engineering oversight. So, well, rightfully so, federal money comes with federal baggage.
Yeah,
And, but, getting people organized.
no, based on, I guess, based on your comment, I'm thinking, 6 years ago, how bad was that bridge looking at 6 years ago?
20 years ago,
Yeah.
it was like that.
Yeah.
The way it
Are
is.
there others, are there gonna be more?
In town?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh.
Nobody's.
you don't have anything on your plate?
Well,
No.
Yeah, there's that culvert on Hutchinson Road, we've got half the road closed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, there's not a lot of traffic out that way,
Right,
so
right.
not at the top of the list, but.
I remember looking at that with somebody and the decision was to be just close the road.
Yeah,
Really? I mean, that's, oh.
they've
okay.
been closed for years now.
And no plan to fix.
No plan, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Next would be enforcement actions, but I don't have any right now, so. Kind of in the middle there.
And,
The next thing on the agenda would be commission discussion for wetlands agent vacancy. Again,
we were talking about.
we're kind of in limbo here.
What I would talk about is that you should request to be on the interview panel.
So I was talking to Wayne about that. He's trying to set up an interview panel.
Okay.
So, yeah, so at least we can screen someone and see what they have to offer. I don't know if they have any applicants yet, or if it's posted, or.
So, yeah,
Is it like a 10-hour a week?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
it's like an hour.
It's not even on the website.
Okay,
It's not.
that's because the town administrator. probably-
Right, I was gonna say, because there's nobody here to do anything.
the priority is probably to find an administrator for wetlands agent, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've kind of had more than one missing.
There's, yeah,
person
there's a
here.
couple of them.
Okay, all the
So
business.
they still want our taxes. They don't stop that, right?
Who is steering the ship, so to say? Not you.
Mark, we're talking to Dwayne right now.
yeah,
And you see what zoning?
So,
Zoning.
Has he been here a while?
no, well. So,
Since Jim.
Bill,
yeah, I think John Guskowski, our contract.
Take care. Thank you.
Help out a little bit.
Right.
We gotta, make that happen. I don't know where that stands. John's company, they can probably help us out a little bit.
sure.
But, Wayne's maybe been here a little over a year. And he came with no zoning wetlands experience. He was a architect, culture fellow.
oh, really? Just was willing to take it.
Yep. And he's doing a very good job of it. He came up to speed really quick. He doesn't have any field with wetlands side of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 5th at 7 P.M. Good work. Make one.
I like Tuesday. You like Tuesday?
That's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
Right.
bring drinks.
Some margaritas.
I make a motion to adjourn the Wetlands meeting at 8:14 P.M. April 7th.
Okay.
All in favor?
Hi.
Pass.
Okay.